Here's Brian and Lance. Live from STS, not STS Studios, 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is a STSPOD.club production. Here is Lance LeVine, the host of Space Castle, and he is live from the home of Bozo, Jerry Springer, and the WNBA champion, Chicago Sky. Congratulations,
that's right.
Lance.
But I am literally in the M&M Snowball Studios. So, I mean, you're singing the praise. It sounds dirty, M&M Snowballs. It sounds dirty, but it's not. It's white chocolate with peanut. Peanut? Don't call me peanut.
Don't call me peanut, damn
No,
it.
it's pretzel. White chocolate with pretzel. I screwed that up. But anyway,
I didn't know about that Space Cadet. That podcast you were doing.
That's right. I got somehow I got like that one was plugged as that was my podcast, so we had to re-edit the.
Well, if you're working with other podcasts like Brian Last did with Fuller, there, if you're doing other podcasts, I'm like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, and cut my pay, and kick me out. So,
tell them about what we did Monday. Tell them about what we did.
Monday was, of course, that was the record store. We're back on track. Thank you for Rocktober. Rocktober was a big success. I had a lot of fun doing it. But Monday we did the first November episode of the record store, and it was the Dan Fogelberg, Tim Weisberg, Twin Sons of Different Mothers was the album that we did. And, Tim Weisberg is a jazz flautist. I want to make mention of that.
I just want you to know. I want you to know this. There's not one time, except maybe once in the history, that the flute was cool. And that was from American Pie when they said, you remember one time at Bandcamp, that's the only time a flute was cool. But if you see that album cover, go to the website, look at the album cover, 1978. And let me say something. The music sounds like it's from 1978. I was just like, wow, okay. This is the kind of stuff I started listening to when I get that Columbia House and then just buy everything. I don't know if I ever had this though.
You get every album for a penny.
Yes. Oh, we need to talk about that sometime on the next record store.
Good thing we didn't get arrested for that one.
I didn't do anything illegal. There are people that did, though.
I like the way a penny suddenly turned into like $17. It's like, shipping and handling.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
We got our money's worth. I know
there is a documentary about that on YouTube. It's awesome about Columbia House.
Yeah.
14 episodes counting. After you listen to this, we only have 14 more for the rest of the year. We go light in November and December, as we always do. I just want to let everybody know. And you was talking about Rocktober. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here's the numbers. I didn't even text them to you. Last October was one of our biggest months ever. It actually was the biggest month until this year when we started doing all the rolling into Memphis and the numbers started going crazy. We're still overall 196%. But here's the number that I really liked. The October from last year, we did 6% more
than last year.
So
nice.
Rocktober was successful, and we always talk about the 3 episodes that everyone likes, except for the Rolling Info episode. So the top 3 was JoJo Feeney doing the Guns N' Roses with you. Number 2 episode was episode 500. Richard, Jamie, Josh joined us. It was really popular.
The cluster episode. Yeah.
And I know this is not going to surprise you, but number 1 was episode 502, which is WTF. This is the most popular stuff that we do. Sometimes I wonder if we should do this weekly, but no, we do have a lot of stories though. But I want to say something. This month was one of those months where I talk about all the time where I had 4 things, maybe all the way down to the 11th or 12th. I only had 4 things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, We're not going to have enough things. Now we still have a Patreon and have tons of stuff to talk about.
It never fails. Like, I think the same thing. Like, I'll get to about the 20th or so, the 20th, 21st, 22nd. I'm like, shit, we only have like 3 or 4 stories. And then all of a sudden that last week, all bets are off and the floodgates open. So this episode, we're a little bit late. We apologize. We both got a little bit screwed up on daylight savings time. So, like, I don't know what happened. I flipped the calendar. You changed your clock back 4 hours or something. So we were a little bit screwed up on time. So we're apologizing.
I'm
a little bit late.
I'm not sure they're going to believe that because daylight savings times was Sunday and we were supposed to record this last Wednesday. But hey, I like the story. I like it. We're sticking with it, motherfuckers.
It's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
All right, let's get started, man.
All right, so it's WTF.
6. Yeah, there we go.
We'll do all the numbers. We'll do all of them. We won't do fractions, though. So, all right, at number 10, we start where we always do with the stip match. So, October 10th, it is DDT's Get Alive 2021 tour in Nagano. And it was a 6-man match. No stipulations or anything, but it was a 6-man match. It was Yasushi Kanda landing the diving anal elbow drop to pin Antonio Honda in the 6-man. So that sounds like another Saturday night at the Tramel household to me. Diving anal elbow.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's right. You and the wife.
Nothing new.
So, and also we need to mention that DDT has started a new promotion. It's called, and this is 100% legit, not making this up.
This
DDT
is for shoot.
Yes, it's for shoot.
I had to actually.
We're insiders, so we can say.
Yeah, we say. I actually went and looked this up because I thought you were bullshitting. But go ahead.
It's called DDT, and it's like 4 E's. So DDT, and so they ran a card featuring nothing but teenagers on 10/27. 13, 16, and 17-year-olds. So we need to make sure Austin Theory does not know about this promotion. That's one thing. Anyway, so they ran a card in one of my favorite places, Shinjuku Face. I accuse you of always having... No, I think actually JR has Shinjuku Face. But anyway, main event, I know, too soon. Main event was Ilusion, 18 years old, beating El Unicorn, who we've talked about these guys before. El Unicorn, it turns out, is only 13. So what in the hell is going on with that? So bizarre. And then finally, on October 9th, the Crusher inducted into the Minnesota Wrestling Hall of Fame. They had a live card celebrating that. They had a Brat Brawl because, Bratwurst. They had the Mr. Saloon contest. I think you were Mr. Saloon back in the 80s, weren't you? Wasn't there?
Yeah,
84?
87.
87, my bad. Yeah. And they had live polka music. So congratulations posthumously to the Crusher being inducted into the Minnesota Wrestling Hall of Fame. So that is our number 10 this month.
We talked about underage, and Izzy was part of we're going to talk about her here in a few minutes, but she was part of being trained, and we wondered what the hell was going on when I have known in Tennessee and some of these independent places that they start very young. But to be, and the name sounds like I'm sorry, but it sounds like some bad porno. The illegal porno. DDT. DDT.
Yep.
There we go.
All I could think of was some of those Southern boys from back in the day. But anyway, all right. At number 9, we have all kinds of TV antics. So we have Tony Schiavone, we have Charlotte, Becky, and Sonya, and then we have a second Sonya Deville story. So we'll start off with Conrad, our boy, our podcast maven, Conrad Thompson, calling out Tony Schiavone for dropping the F-bomb on Dynamite on October 27th. So Tony's line was, he really fucked up on that one. The line apparently aired. None of us caught it. I don't know.
Nobody caught it. No. He said that Tony Khan didn't even say anything to the next day.
Reprimand him. Yeah, it slipped past everybody. So, but Conrad caught it and busted out Tony on their podcast. So I thought that was funny. And he played the audio of it too, which was great. So then we have the Charlotte, Becky, and Sonya skirmish at SmackDown on October 27th or October 22nd. Becky and Charlotte were supposed to be trading belts because there's the stupid, one was the Raw champion, one was the SmackDown champion after the draft. So rather than do it in a match, they just literally trade belts. So Charlotte gets all pissy about it, literally drops the Raw belt to make Becky look bad in her mind in an unscripted moment, allegedly unscripted moment. So Sonya gets pissed. Sonya scolds her on live TV, tells her to pick it up. And then Becky and Sonya like let her have it backstage in Gorilla. So just a whole grow up, will ya type situation. So what little heat comes from this, it's aimed at Charlotte on the whole thing. So just a really juvenile, asinine move. Charlotte just kind of getting a little carried away with herself, I think, these days.
Well, you got somebody that wants to go somewhere else. They want out of their contract. They're going to be
to be with Mr. Andre.
Yeah, with Mr. Andre there.
In AEW. So, and then finally on the bump, that's one of those the shows on the network.
Right, on the network, right.
The goof co-host on the bump, not Kayla Braxton, because Kayla Braxton is delightful. We love Kayla Braxton, but not her, but one of the other goofballs asks Sonya Deville, of all people, her opinion on the angle where Seth Rollins breaks into Edge's house. And I'm like, could you have picked a better guest to possibly ask about a home break-in than Sonya Deville, who has obviously dealt with a very serious and legitimate real-life home break-in recently? So just a really awkward moment. She kind of actually handled it pretty professionally and didn't get all crazy about it and didn't crawl into a shell or anything. But just an awkward moment. Could have picked somebody else for that question.
I watched the video and I just wanted to dig a hole and get in it, because I felt so sorry for her. We covered the whole thing here and talked about it many times when it was happening. And it just, what were you thinking? I know he probably apologized over and over afterwards, but he needed to. So all I can say is about Schiavone, I'm going to tell you, I was not a huge fan of his growing up. I guess I could say that. But really have liked him. I liked his podcast. I don't listen to it all the time, but if I find something I want to listen to, that's important to me to learn the history of it, I listen to it. But I think he seems to be just a really laid back, cool guy. And I've loved him on AEW. And you could tell he pokes fun of JR all the time. And he has a real good relationship. But Tony, you talk about a comeback story. What a comeback story, man. It started back with the podcast and AEW, but he didn't even know he said it. And he said, Tony Khan was with me all day yesterday. He didn't say anything. I thought that
I don't know how none of us even caught it. No,
and
we all watch it. I usually watch it live.
Stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, just a bizarre thing. So, but my opinion on him back in WCW, I always thought he was just kind of there. Not nearly as there as Michael Cole is just there, but he was just there. But now you're right. I agree. I just a very likable guy. And that just really enhances the AEW broadcast. I think, again, I still think too many people in the booth, but it's okay when it's him. JR could go away and we wouldn't miss him, but him and Excalibur make a great team. So
I agree. I think he's really, I like, me and you we kind of disagree about JR, but although I understand what you're saying, but yeah, I think Schiavone's he's the glue, man. And I don't think he was the glue back in the day, but he's the glue that keeps everything together.
Gotten so much better. So, all right, at number 8, we've got the King with his triumphant return to WTF. So we got Jerry Lawler back in the news. So we got a couple things. The first, I just want to get the bizarre picture that surfaced towards the beginning of the month from there was a Comic-Con somewhere with Jerry Lawler pointing at Katie Forbes' ass, Rob Van Dam looking like the Cheshire Cat, basically, Jake Roberts shooting the bird for no apparent reason, and JR in the middle of it with his, sadly expressionless face, just like it's like he's Nero and Rome is burning all around him. So just the weirdest picture, just such a bizarre picture.
Here's what's really funny. I wish we should have brought it up and I put it on the screen because but it was not a weird picture to me. You sent me there, you go, man, look at this. I was like, yeah, that's
just so much weird going on.
It is a lot of weird
at her ass, and
we need to make that our our profile pitch.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of the month, but then the Lawler taking heat for the racist comments resurfacing. So the ramen noodle moonsault comment in 2020. I mean, come on, time has passed now. It was Tajiri did a moonsault, and he called it on Raw when they were in the performance center when there was no audience. So he did a moonsault, and Lawler called it the ramen noodle moonsault. So the heat resurfacing for him being racist again. So you have some more info on that. We're sending it to Cub reporter Brian Tramel.
I did find this clip, and it has been a few months back. And some of the boys actually messaged me and said, "Can you believe he said that?" And then I didn't do anything with it because the people I talked to, Lawler, they said Lawler had approved the what he was going to say, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to say this." So if you approve it as part of the script, I don't know. I want you to listen to it, and you can sit and watch it. If you're watching a video, I'll put the video link. Hopefully, we won't get in trouble for showing the video, but I'll put the video link. Don't. I'll put it in the description so you can go to it and see the whole thing. So here we go. Here we go. Look, I'm gonna yell. Buddies over at Who's Right, they always yell at each other because the other guy he's trying to look for something. He's like, just talk, and at least you were so. All right, here we go.
I mean, do you people know the history of Memphis wrestling? Do you know where I came from? You do? But yet you look around at this and you call this wrestling? Come on, these so-called wrestlers, they look like a bunch of backyard wrestlers. I mean, I gotta admit, the guys that I've seen out here so far tonight, those wrestlers don't grow on trees. They swing from them. But listen. You know, I knew I shouldn't have come out here when I followed that commercial for the Presbyterian Church. Did you people see that? Where's that right there? Did you see his commercial? It looked like his tongue was in jail. How many teeth you got anyway? You're an orthodontist dream. Now listen, I'm used to being on worldwide television.
All right. That was we'll put the link in. You can listen to all of that. Little first clip was and this goes back to, and I was listening to YouTube right before, and I was telling you, Waiting on You was listening to a comedian and some comedians. When you're telling a joke and it being part of the script and the jokes, I mean, we both smiled when he said that. It's a joke. But it's almost like you can't tell a joke. I don't think Lawler thought the ramen noodle joke he was being racist. I really honestly don't.
I don't think so either.
And I mean, I could be accused of being racist too by saying the curry bucks, you know? So it's just one of those things. I mean, and it's almost where the joke and everyone gets all offended about everything. He actually said he was taken off TV because of that. Just ridiculous, guys. Yeah. Come on. Don't cancel everybody.
So glad we could entertain with some classic Jerry Lawler there. So, all right, moving on to number 7 is our monthly crime blotter. We've got America's Most Wanted. We got El Paso's Least Wanted. And we got MMA's Chuck Liddell and Violent Bob Ross. So starting with America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris, a.k.a. the other guy in America's Most Wanted, not James Storm, arrested for DUI on October 5th in Kenton County, Kentucky. So I think that's the KKK, Kenton County, Kentucky or something.
No,
so anyway,
county spelled with a C.
Just America's Most Wanted leading us into El Paso's Least Wanted. Raka Khan, who we've talked about numerous times, who was at one point named El Paso's Most Wanted because of a child custody, alimony situation.
Right. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was some weird thing. Why was she so El Paso's Most Wanted? Anyway, so they rescinded the warrant for her. And so now the trial is scheduled for November, and she is no longer El Paso's Most Wanted. So now she's El Paso's Least Wanted. Apparently, they've come to their senses that a child custody case is not something that somebody's going to go to prison for. So then we go to MMA legend Chuck Liddell, arrested on October 11th, charged with domestic battery in Hidden Hills, California. I don't know how the police found him if they're in Hidden Hills, but whatever.
Yeah, right.
Good for them. It was a family disturbance with Chuck and his wife Heidi fighting. They both sustained minor injuries, but he took the bullet on the arrest, which I found kind of weird. It's like they were fighting and skirmishing. They had come back home from a party. And like, do the police say, okay, somebody's going to jail. Which one is it going to be? And he decided he was going to do the honorable thing and take the arrest. I don't get how that happens. But the other part about that's weird. I'm not sure if you knew about this, but he's been appearing in OnlyFans videos. I'm not making this up. He has been appearing in OnlyFans videos that for Bella Thorne, the former Disney girl who now does a lot of softcore type stuff. So he's been in these videos with like these scantily clad teenagers and stuff. And I'm thinking somehow, some way, him appearing with these, nubile teenage girls could maybe have been what led to the fight.
I don't believe they're teenage girls. Come on. Let's.
Well, all right, early 20s, whatever.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
whatever they are, but he's been like a straight.
It may have something to do with
videos.
Yeah. I think Misty would kind of get upset too. I mean, the wife would get upset.
The wife could have been pissed about that. So, but anyway, so apparently the law is that he could take the bullet and take the arrest for the wife beating him up. So, and then finally, our guy Violent Bob Ross, who we've talked about before, arrested on October 9th for domestic violence charges, and then promptly fired from UFC on October 12th. He hit his girlfriend. We're obviously not condoning that. Hit his girlfriend and another woman. I'm like, how the fuck? You're hitting other people too? It's bad enough you're hitting your girlfriend, but then this is the third incident this year where police have been called to their house. The girlfriend had injuries, which included a bite mark on her knee. Trying to figure that one out. A bite mark on her knee. So this is a messed up situation. There was already a restraining order on him, but yet the two were still living together. So that was fucked up. The other woman was trying to break up the fight and she got hit. This took place in Deerfield Beach, Florida, Brian. Of course.
In Florida?
Yeah.
Not Florida.
No
Oh,
shit.
God. Yeah.
So definitely a mental health issue here. So we wish the best for all of them. We wish no more injuries for anybody, including Chuck Liddell and his wife, maybe Bella Thorne. I don't know. But anyway, so that is our crime blotter for the month of October.
OnlyFans, Chuck Liddell. I cannot. I just can't imagine. And this other guy, what happened is you said, he beat up another woman. You know what's going on is he's fighting this girl, and then she's going, "You better leave my girlfriend alone." And he just hits her too. So there's crazy.
As well.
Just to let you know, I have woke up in the morning with a bite mark in my inner thigh, but not on my knee.
Not on the knee.
Not on the knee.
That's a weird one, yeah. And we don't need to hear any more. Well, maybe on the Patreon. You can
Patreon, maybe.
Yeah, we can make people pay for that. So maybe you should have an OnlyFans. You and
you and
Chuck Liddell. You and Moose. That's even better.
Me and Moose. Me and Chuck Liddell. I mean, Yeah.
Congrats to Moose for winning the Impact title.
That's right.
Was there a big party at the Pat Tramel house?
There was a big party at the Tramel house.
All right, number 6, we have reality TV corner. We have Ms. and Mrs. We have resting bitch face Ronda Rousey. We have Mojo Rawley, Braun Strowman, and Nikki Bella. We have all kinds of reality TV issues here. So Ms. and Mrs., congratulations to the family. They are renewed for their third season in 2022. The big news is the plot twist that's coming this year, that Maurice's weird-ass mother on that show starts dating a guy, and Mrs. equally weird dad starts dating a guy. So that is just some bizarre shit. So all of their parents are just so weird.
Sounds like a work to me.
Probably. We always hear about how reality shows are so scripted. Right. But Mrs. Dad dating a guy, and they were married. Last I saw, Mrs. Dad and Mom were still married, and she's a nut job too. So anyway, then we go to the future of the business, affectionately known as the future of the business, Mojo Rawley, aka Dean Mutati. I like saying Mutati. Named the co-host of TMZ Sports. So congrats to him. Maybe he's the future of TMZ Sports. So Tom Robinson might be watching that.
Yeah, the future.
So,
the future.
And then we got Ronda Rousey, ultimate bitch face Ronda Rousey. I know you hate when
I always
say that.
have to say something bad about her. Always, she's a douche.
gets a show on ESPN Plus called Rowdy's Place. Oh, how dainty. Rowdy's Place.
I love it.
Interviewing combat athletes. So I'm hoping she interviews Misha Tate, because maybe then they'll get into it on the stage, because she was such an asshole to Misha Tate. That's why I hate her. Braun Strowman, also known as Adam Shear, hired by NBC Sports to commentate on Mr. Olympia contests and arm wrestling. So I'm like, okay, arm wrestling, he's done arm wrestling. He's done like those, world's strongest man type competitions. But when I think Mr. Olympia, I think of like guys like Brian Cage or Lex Luger back in the day. I don't think of nothing against Braun Strowman.
No, I think
not
the
out of
deal
shape
is
or anything.
He was a huge fan of it, and then when they approached him for one thing, he asked about another thing, kind of thing. I think
Mr. Olympia, so weird. So I don't know what the connection, but I guess that makes sense. And then finally, production is halted on America's Got Talent Extreme. It is a spinoff of America's Got Talent. America's Got Talent Extreme is shut down. Nikki Bella is one of the judges on this show. How she's extreme or qualifies for this, I have no idea. But the production is shut down on October 14th when a stunt goes awry. Escape artist Jonathan Goodwin is injured because he's pinned between two cars and an explosion occurred. So good thing. Fortunately, no injuries to Nikki Bella, so everything's good there. But how the hell is Nikki Bella extreme? Shouldn't you have like a Darby Allin as a judge on there, or somebody like that? Joey Janela, something like that.
Nobody knows who those people are. God damn. Nikki Bella is a big star, dude. A big star. Big star.
Never has been associated with extreme. Anything. Extreme hitting on John Cena or something.
All right, man. We got commercial break. We'll be back with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, back for commercial. I want to do some shout outs here. A big shout out to Who's Right Podcast and Content Kings. I actually got up on Friday at 7 a.m. because, what time is it at my house kind of thing. It was from Australia, the Content Kings, the main guy, Dave. He had me on. We had a fun time, real cast of characters there. And Who's Right Podcast had me for a little bit just to talk about what are we doing now. I was putting over Rocktober and everything both times. So thanks to them. Big J Sampson. Big J Sampson is our new Patreon.
Yay.
Hey, welcome on. Welcome on.
Yay.
Welcome, welcome aboard, buddy. And I want to shout out to these guys up here. Wait, let me see if I can do it. B&B Collections, they did some sponsorship. All right, they did some sponsorship early, and then we had Saturday. We did a sponsorship with them and went out to their new location here in Jonesboro, Arkansas, 1825 East Nelton. If you're in Jonesboro, Brandon and Bo, two big guys. I think they could be a tag team, man. Huge guys, just super nice guys. Also, this is an odd month, so we will be spinning the wheel with tons of prizes. We have Lance's book in the record store we're supposed to give away in Rocktober, but the only people that retweeted was other podcasts. So I really didn't want to give it to other podcasts. So we still have the record store t-shirt. There's a Stinkahorn t-shirt. There is Brett Michaels, the champion in Memphis and championship wrestler from Memphis. He'll cut a promo on you guys. A New Day comic book that I got from B&B Collections, and a toy title belt. And then I'll throw a bunch of other stuff in, including Spunk Lube. Spunk Lube right there in the corner. And as you can see, counter, as we say in the South. As you can see, all these advertisements. Me and Lance will cover our faces if you want to be advertised.
We'll Brian's face.
Yeah, sure. We'll put a big ad over our faces if you want us to. All right, man, let's go.
I have one shout out. You didn't throw it.
You got a shout out, my bad.
I have a very important shout out that I want to do this month or this week because this week is Veterans Day, and I just want to say thank you to all the veterans. I know it's a little bit outside the box, and especially in the midst of our WTFs, but I want to say thank you to all the veterans. Any veterans that are listening to this for damn sure.
Veterans Day is tomorrow, and it is also my birthday.
Salute to all the veterans that we've lost over the years. So
it's also my birthday.
Watching all the tributes and all the commemorative footage and stuff this week really hit me, and I just want to say happy Veterans Day and thank you to all of them who have served. So all right, back to the crazy madness. So we are at number 5, which you know what number 5 is.
It's Smut.
That's right. Social media uproar time. So this month we feature Izzy, our friend Izzy from Florida, MSK, David Bixenspan, and Joey Ryan. So we have a number of stories there. We'll start with Izzy, that I think she's 13. I don't know what she is. 13,
I don't know
14.
how old she is now. No,
young, whatever. She was that little girl who lost her shit over Bailey and became something of a weird celebrity at NXT. So anyway, MSK, formerly the Rascals, very talented guys. They just lost the belts. They were the NXT tag champs. They were getting booed at the Capitol Center multicolor arena, or whatever the fuck it's called these days, because apparently one of the guys in the Rascals had a problem and was negative about the fact that this goof kid Izzy was training for wrestling when she was a child. And she did that angle with Effie or whatever she did. So this guy, that was his opinion. He didn't think it was a good idea that this little girl was training to be a wrestler, that her body wasn't ready for being a wrestler and stuff. So her parents, who are now these, psycho parents in the NXT center, griped about it and tried to get the fans, the NXT diehards, to boo the MSK for this. And it worked. These morons were booing this babyface team who were the champions. So I was watching, NXT is no longer, I got to watch it the night it airs. I usually don't even watch it till 2 weeks later in most cases. But I was catching up and watching some NXT today. And sure enough, here's these baby faces coming in to do a run-in, not against one, but two heel tag teams, and they're getting booed. I'm like, are you morons? Oh God. So anyway, their scheme, their little internet scheme about tweeting about negative things about MSK worked. So just ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So she was in 2018, like she was 11. So we're looking at, she's
14
probably,
now, 15.
Yeah, just too young.
Yeah. And then we got Bixenspan and Joey Ryan, a couple things there. So Bixenspan went after Joey Ryan. I think you have this story more than I do. There was some sort of Joey Ryan ghost accounts where he was tweeting stuff to make himself look like the victim or something. And
what was going on was that that Bix applied for the loan, a business loan. When COVID was going on.
Yeah.
You could do a business loan, and if you were a corporation, you had to use it toward, this thing. I'm not going to go full detail, but it was a great deal for people that were in during the COVID. Bixenspan, as best I could tell with the stuff that Joey Ryan shared, did everything legally. He says so retired. I can't say it. Say it for me. He was a sole business owner. And he is a freelance, so he filled out all the paperwork, and it was approved. So they didn't do anything. He didn't do anything wrong. But then Joey Ryan wanted to show everyone that Bix had cheated the system, and that money should have went to somebody else. And actually, they found out it was the account was to Joey Ryan, and then everyone gave Joey Ryan hell again because Bix really hadn't done anything wrong. If you know anything about the loans, he did not do one thing wrong. So it really looked bad for him.
Plus, he's a handsome son of a gun.
He is, and that Joey Ryan is never going to work in the rest of the business, guys. Never. This guy just.
I wonder what he's doing. Like, what is he? Does he work at Popeyes now or something?
Of all people, I mean, we pick on Bix, but I've known him forever, and I can pick on him. So, and
you pick on me too, and that's unjustified either.
He's a tattletale. So,
yeah.
And speaking of
he's
Bix,
cheap. He's cheap, I heard.
Well, here we go. So he went to the Oneida. Exploding match at the stadium. And by the way, shout out to Tony Myers, who was with Anita the whole weekend, one of my all-time longest friends in the wrestling business.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. We met because of the Observer when he was living in Memphis. So, so he spent, I guess, $85 to $100 for tickets. They were expensive tickets, and they had people all in the stadium, and they had fans walking from, way up in the stadium who paid general admission, walk all the way down to where he was sitting. And he was suggesting on Twitter that he may do chargebacks, a chargeback on a ticket, because that wasn't fair to him. Well, they gave him hell. They gave him hell because they said, look, you paid the wrestlers that amount of money. You don't think of it like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He kind of, I don't know what he ended up doing. And the final thing, I didn't even put this, but I can't find the tweet now. But the guy that wrote the book on Ken Shamrock, he had a poll, and I knew you'd love this. He had a poll because there was a rumor back in the day, I guess, or in the last 5 or 6 years, that Bix had shit his pants at a wrestling show. And,
wait, the guy who wrote the Shamrock book, does he not have better things to do than do that?
So
Jesus.
The thing about it was...
That sounds like P3 radio antics right there.
Yeah, he said, he wasn't really doing this about Bix. He was doing it because there was a mention that it is becoming a normal thing. If you have to sit through long tapings, you just shit yourself and piss yourself.
You do not. No. You get up and you go to the bathroom like a classy human being.
I got to tell you something.
Like
they did a survey. This guy did, but he's taking it down. 73% of the adults that polled it said, as an adult, they've shit their pants. So me, Richard, and Josh still think y'all are liars. So there you go.
I think must have been a lot of poll responses from the South on that one, because that's we don't do that. Me, Eric Kroll, and John do not do that up here, up north. So all right, moving on to number 4 before we come to blows. So from the MMA Mobile News Squad, number 6, we have MMA fighters, MMA news. We got Tyron Woodley, we got Justin Thornton, sadly, and Riddick Bowe. So Tyron Woodley, who is no longer with UFC, lost a boxing match to Jake Paul, one of these stupid celebrity boxing matches, and he lives up to his bet. He said he was going to get a tattoo that says, "I love Jake Paul" on it, and he did, got it tattooed on his middle finger. So he got it. He lived up to his bet. So good for him. October 2nd in Miami, it was supposed to be another one of these stupid celebrity boxing matches. Riddick Bowe, 54, scheduled to fight former NBA player Lamar Odom, 41, with somebody named Bitcoin Rodney as the referee, because, everything goes in Florida. So anyway, the founder of the celebrity boxing thing, Damon Feldman, calls it off because Riddick Bowe, rather, is in no shape to fight. So somebody finally came to their senses. So, and I looked up, this Bitcoin Rodney was a convicted drug dealer who's now a social media superstar. So, of course, welcome to 2021. So, and then finally, Justin Thornton. We lost Justin Thornton in the bare knuckle fighting championship. Passes away on October 4th from injuries in a fight. He had been knocked out in 19 seconds by a guy named Dylan Klecker.
Hold on. I want to show you this, man.
Okay.
This is crazy. I had to look it up. When you told me, I said, bare knuckles, I guess, you have no padding whatsoever. But you got to watch this. So you got to watch it. If you're doing video with us, we do appreciate it. If not, I'm going to just show this. You'll hear the audio. So here we go.
Here's the right hand, another right hand. When you get to the inside, is Justin Thornton with smothering pressure. Good turn by Klecker, landing the combination.
Oh my goodness. What a shot.
And that's exactly what he talked.
Is that fucking crazy or what? And he went down and died. So
the face plant looks like he breaks his neck. I mean, he heads down, like his head is a 90-degree angle to his body at that point. So what was bizarre, I mean, he was paralyzed from the punch. He got a staph infection. He died later. Thornton, the guy who died, was 6-18 in fighting, and this Klecker that knocked him out was 11-1. So this is a fight that really should never have been sanctioned in the first place. So this is the organization that Paige Van Zandt works for. So I'm just hoping, do not put Paige Van Zandt in any kind of peril, because she is restaurant quality. That's all I got to say.
Yes, she is. So, something you didn't mention, that Tyron Woodley, he actually signed a non-disclosure agreement, which it got out, that he was not allowed to knock out Jake Paul during the fight.
So it was fixed?
I'm not saying what you're saying. Fixed. I'm saying he couldn't knock him out. So there you go.
Okay, so he had to just toy with him. So, all right, moving on to number 3. We have WWE Hall of Famer shot into outer space. So you're like, what? So anyway, William Shatner, 90, goes on to the final frontier on October 13th when he goes 66 miles into outer space aboard another one of those Jeff Bezos penis-shaped rockets in a 10-minute flight. So he safely parachutes back down to Earth in the Texas desert. They said it was to only go where no one has gone before. That was the catchphrase there. So Shatner is the oldest person ever to go into outer space. He said the landing was harder than he expected, although fortunately no hips were broken in this excursion, so that was good. The whole deal was done to promote space tourism, and Jeff Bezos happened to be a huge Star Trek fan, so he was all behind it. So do you think Jerry Lawler will be next? Will the racist Jerry Lawler be, maybe they'll put him in a rocket with a bunch of Asian and black people, and he'll go into outer space and never come back.
I didn't even think about the WWE connection until you said something, but I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so yeah. I've seen almost all the old stuff, and then a big fan of the new series, and just thought it was just so super cool. And if you see any of the video, Shatner's always Shatner, and he was just so astonished at what they were doing. So
it was only a 10-minute flight. I wonder if he crapped his pants.
I bet he did.
Because, he's 90, so, that Metamucil hits funny. So, all right, at number 2, we got, those DiBiases, those damn DiBiases at number 2. So the ongoing, we've covered this before. Maybe it'll be coming to a head finally. So the ongoing Mississippi Welfare Department scandal, $77 million has been embezzled from Mississippi. And Mississippi has declared, we want our fucking money. We're taking our money back. So State Auditor Shad White is seeking, here are the final judgments here, $225,950 from Brett DiBiase, $3,903,000 from Ted DiBiase Jr., $722,299 from Ted Sr., and for good measure, $828,000 from Brett Favre, just because, why not? Brett Favre, too.
So Brett's bit was part of this too.
Yeah, he was part of it too.
He paid some of it back though. He's already
that name came out of left field compared to the whole DiBiase clan being part of this. So anyway, good luck on that, Mississippi. Hopefully you get your money back. So maybe this is why Ted took that NXT gig for a while there, to make some money and try to get, because he knows he's going to have to pay this off at some point. So $3 million from his
almost
kid.
$4 million, $3.9 million from Ted
Jr.
DiBiase Jr. That's $4 million. You're probably going to spend some time in jail if he doesn't have the money.
So I'm thinking that Ted took that NXT gig so he could buddy up with Cameron Grimes and steal some of his money, because maybe him, he's got that Bitcoin Rodney. There's some kind of connection there. So
there you go.
So all right, we're at number 1. So number 1 just got in under the wire to end the month. So we have Man Bun Jesus versus Groovy Grizzly on the Jerry Springer Show. I can't even say that with a straight face. Man Bun Jesus versus Groovy Grizzly on the Jerry Springer Show. So October 26th on Springer's new show, it's called Judge Jerry, one of these courtroom dramas with Jerry Springer presiding over it. So indie wrestlers do courtroom battle over $400, like a $400 battle between these two guys. So Michael Mistretta sues Man Bun, a.k.a. John Dalrymple, for not paying his share of the travel expenses. So it was a trip from Long Island to New Jersey. Couldn't have been a very far trip. Long Island, New York to New Jersey, that couldn't have been very far. So Mistretta paid for the gas, the hotels, the food, and he expected to get repaid. Springer wanted to see receipts. Mistretta said he gave them to Man Bun, who then gave them to Groovy Grizzly, a.k.a. Sal Savelli. And the receipts got lost altogether. So since the receipts could not be found, Judge Jerry Springer throws out the case, and it's all done, So he just says, be more careful when you guys are paying for your expenses. And all of this took place with them in their gear and in their gimmicks. So this hasn't aired
I
yet,
got a real quick
we're
clip.
looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's about 11 seconds with it. It was an advertisement. It's something you'd see on local television for that day. Well, I couldn't hardly say television. Just I had a stroke.
Man Bun Jesus.
I had a mild stroke there, y'all. Here we go.
This week on Judge Jerry.
What's going on, Judge Jerry?
Okay, I'm just Man Bun. All this week.
There you go. That really puts everything. Groovy Grizzly. That's
Groovy Grizzly.
Yeah, I hate it, but I could have probably did that gimmick.
I would love to see these guys actually, if they were actually wrestlers. I'd love to see it.
They are. So I'm going to be Bodacious. I think I'm going to be Bodacious Bear. is what I'm going to be. So
with a clipboard.
Yeah,
Will there be a clipboard?
That's that Coach BT
Old gimmick.
So.
Old gimmick. All right.
All right, guys. Man,
Same
subscribe to Patreon. It's only $3. We're giving away a lot of Shiznit this November.
We got more stories to cover too.
That's right. And honorable mentions is what we'll go to next. If you are a Patreon member, if not, same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, I love my mama.
And as everyone knows, I have fun every